Hello, hi, my name is Morgana, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Ultimate Decades Challenge Side Household Update. This is our second one so far, and it's a little earlier than I said in the previous episode. At the previous episode, I said it'll be every 10 years, but a little after, during one of my Ultimate Decades Challenge actual episodes, I realized it would probably work better being every 5 years because Sims move fast. Literally at the end of that previous Side Household Update, the side households got busy. So, we're just gonna go through one household at a time. We're gonna start with Stephen's kids and then move on to the other ones. So, and speaking of Stephen, here he is in all his ancient glory. He's still a handsome old man. I think he's aged pretty well. He's living life. He's still here in Hinford on Bagley. But his household has changed a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. So I don't know if y'all remember, but Stephen was actually polyamorous. Sorry, polygamous. Well, poly, right? He's not necessarily monogamous. And he's married. He realized that when he was with his first wife, Lynota, when he and Lynota both started to develop feelings for Mary. But now that I've relinquished control of the household and after he settled down with Elena, they had their children, lived monogamously. All their kids are grown up and everything. And I got rid of control of the household. I think he decided to go back to his roots, I should say. And he decided to start practicing being polygamous again. So he and Elena are still married, but she kind of followed the same route as him and was like, well, if you do it, I'm do it. So she actually also kind of got married again. So she has a second husband. She's actually in the village. She has a second husband and just gave birth to a little girl who we're actually not going to go visit because she's not in the household. She's a smith technically, but that situation doesn't involve the smiths. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to that, but I just want you to know. Even though it says Elena Cruz, that's because she recently got married to the teen boy Cruz in the village. So, yeah. But she and Stephen, it still says spouse right here. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. So he recently got, well, first he had one new wife, and then he got a second one recently. So yeah, let's just go through what's been happening. I've been keeping track of this. So this is his first wife. Okay, I'm just gonna have to keep this up to kind of explain. So this is what's her name, girl? This is Susanna. Her name is Susanna Smith because she's now married to Stephen. And Susanna is she's pretty interesting to me because, well, this is not the first Smith she's been with. So when she first, I thinking about it, sorry. When she first moved into the village, she already had a child. She had a son named Richard, who is super, super adorable. And, she had this son out of wedlock and everything. And, well, the father of said son is actually Avery Jones, as in, as in Margery's youngest son, Avery. So, also, the reason she and Avery even met is because Susanna is one of Gabriel's stepchildren, and is is Avery's brother. So she technically got with, hold on. I wonder if it'll pop up because her mom is gone, so it might not pop up. Oh, it will. Damn. Oh, wait, what? Oh my god, I thought it was going to tell me that he died or something. Okay. So this is Gabriel, Avery's older brother, right? Like, ignore this section. I'll get to that when we get to Gabriel. And this is Susanna. So Susanna is the stepchild of Gabriel, meaning she technically got with her step uncle. But I don't really think she sees Gabriel as a father figure because they're so close in age. But she technically got with her step uncle, who is Avery, and had his child, but then married his actual uncle, and then she got pregnant again and had Stephen's child, which is a surprise because Stephen is infertile and not supposed to be having more children. I promise he was already infertile before, and I made him extra infertile, and he has an infertile trait right here, and it didn't work, and he has 2 more kids on the way. Well, he's got 1 more kid on the way, but he's had 2 more kids. So his stepson is also his nephew, his great nephew. So he's a grunkle father. That's why I said it got kind of weird, and which is why I didn't want to touch on Stephen in the previous episode. I was going to visit him, but this had to. Oh man, what a thing for y'all to learn in the first 5 minutes of the recording, by the way. So yeah, that's already a weird situation. So I guess Susanna said, if you don't want to be with me, I'll just get with your uncle, I guess. So I guess what must have happened is Avery must have visited Gabriel. You know, Avery was having some issues at home with his own wife and everything. And I guess he must have visited Gabriel in Willow Creek and just had a moment of passion with Susanna. It says they're soulmates, but I don't really think they care much about each other or find each other either rather attractive, or at least Susanna doesn't find him very attractive. But long story short, that night of passion led to her becoming pregnant. And I don't know. I don't even know how she knew about Stephen. I want to say that Gabriel was just being messy and introduced the two and was like, well, we have a rich uncle if you want to go see what that's about. And then she met Stephen and moved all the way to Hempford on Bagley. So yeah. But anyways, somehow or another, Stephen managed to knock her up. Once again, don't even ask me how, because he could not do that for years. And as soon as I get rid of control of him, he's popping him out. I guess he's like, I'm leaving this earth with a bang. So I know technically, according to the rules, they were supposed to have a set amount of children, and clearly he's surpassed that because he's got this child and another one on the way with his third wife, who I'll introduce in a moment. But this is his daughter Sarai. So what I'm gonna say is, after I relinquish control of a household, even though I use mods to make them infertile, like I explicitly state they cannot have more children. If something happens and they do happen to have children after that, I might put them in the family tree. As of right now, Sarai and his stepkids and stuff are not. Y'all let me know if you feel like it's worth adding them, but I will not be keeping up with them, meaning I'm not going to do any death rolls or anything like that. Yeah. I've already gotten rid of control of the household and everything, so I'm gonna be treating them just like they're an NPC household, because I let go of control of this household at this point, so he can do whatever he wants, I guess. But I did make him infertile, and he was already infertile before. So this is a crazy change of pace, crazy circumstance, a miracle for sure. But this is his daughter Sarai, his new youngest, since Laura is no longer the youngest. But he's got a stepson who's also his neat nephew, his actual daughter Sarai, who is adorable, and his third wife Thaddeus. Don't ask me why she's named Thaddeus. I don't know. She is also pregnant. This is his second wife, Thaddeus. Also, both of them are teenagers. Well, Susanna just aged up into a young adult, but she was a teenager when she got pregnant by Gabriel, who was also a teenager, so that makes sense. But she was in her late teens when she married Stephen and gave birth to their child. And Thaddeus is also a teenager. So Stephen, that's really freaking weird. But at least you married them. Most of the men in my save file have a habit of knocking up my Sims and then just leaving them high and dry. So at least you married them, even though you married really young. But this is Thaddeus. I'll be honest, I can't remember much about her backstory or anything like that. I don't think it even really matters, but she's a teenager. I guess I can go over their traits just so y'all can get to know them for a second. Thaddeus is lactose intolerant, mischievous, sporty, and lazy. She came from a peasant household. Technically, Stephen is now a peasant as well, but he's got a little bit of savings, right? Does not believe in occult sims. I've got some news for you living in this village, sister. Susanna's pessimistic, high-strung, a dog lover, child of the village, and egotistical. Also a peasant, does not want children right now. So I guess she's done for now. I don't know. She's witnessed the occult, so yeah. And Susanna is currently pregnant. Sorry, Thaddeus is currently pregnant with a boy. So Stephen is about to have a son on the way. But Stephen is honestly on his last leg of life. Get out the door, please. Thank you. He's actually on his last leg of life. He's already an elder. I didn't roll for him to see how long he gets in elder days because I didn't feel like coming back to do that. I think I'll only roll for amount of elder days with my main household sims, but I don't know, he made it this far. He gets to live. I don't care enough to check on it and kill him off. But so yeah, this might be one of the well, not one of the last times we see him, but one of the last times you might see him in a side household update, unless he dies before then. But he's got, I want to say 25 days left, 26 days left. Yeah. So I don't know. He got all these other wives and still never got married. I'm not sure if that's tragic or poetic. Or well, most poems would have some sense of tragedy, right? But that's how he's doing. He's doing fine. Whenever he passes, I guess he's gonna leave this house to his wives. I will say though, because this is actually pretty relevant, but this house right here, even though his wives live here currently with the children, they're gonna be raising together as sister wives. Um, if something happens to our one male heir, Stephen, not this one, the other one, if something happens to our one male heir, Stephen, then obviously our next of line in terms of who will be carrying on the Smith legacy will technically be older Stephen, but he's too old, obviously. So it'll actually go to his son, his eldest son, Osbert. And Osbert does not live in Hinford and Bagley currently. We're actually about to go see what he's been up to in just a moment. But if little Stephen does not make his teenage role or passes away without an heir, or without an heir old enough to take over after him, then Osbert will be moving back into this household, and I'll just move these girls somewhere else, somewhere, I don't know. I'll figure that out if that time comes. But oh no, we may see this house again in the future, under different circumstances, because that's always something that could happen. Oh, butterfly. All right, so speaking of his children, we're actually gonna go take a look at what Stephen's bloodline is up to first. And that means I think we should go oldest to youngest. So I'll go with, well, not, we'll figure it out. Let's go see Osbert first, though. And here we are with our dear Osbert, who has made his way to Oasis Springs and to a very familiar place. Believe it or not, he made it to the same cathedral that Elena was once in. Meaning, of course, Siegfried is still here. He's damn near part of the family at this point. Hey, Siegfried. Well, I guess we're never getting rid of you. I guess since we're here, a quick Siegfried update, since he's a part of the official lore, technically. He's here. He got married to this girl named Kristen, and they have a bunch of kids. This one is kind of closest in age to, like, a little older than, gosh, what's my youngest child's name? Albretta. He's got red hair and red eyes. And I feel like Albretta, being so unconventional, would love someone who had such unconventional features. But yeah, a lot of his kids got his red eyes. This girl has it. I can't remember the others. I think this boy has it as well. But yeah, this isn't about him. This is about Osbert. Our possessed potential next in line heir. Would y'all trust this guy to lead a family? I mean, he's not incapable. He's just, yeah. Anyways, so he moved here and actually got married to Madison, the same Madison that Elena was living with. Yes, she's old because my Sims like MILFs. My teen male Sims love them a good MILF, so whatever. So these two got married. So he is now the, well, how's their relationship going? Yeah, their relationship's going pretty strong. You don't like Kristen? Whatever. Their relationship is going pretty strong. And I don't know if she's pregnant right now or not, but they've had a child, I believe. Oh, yeah, she's pregnant right now. She's pregnant with a little boy. So, of course, she's got her son that she already had. She had two kids with her former ex-husband who left her and took the kids, those kids. She's got this one. But there's this kid right here who is technically Osbert's stepson. I don't know his name. What's your name, sir? Nicholas. Nicholas is Osbert's stepson. So if Osbert becomes heir, Nicholas will not be heir. Yeah, he's not. I'm not counting stepchildren as part of the running, but we'll have our first step family member, which is really fun, and all of these are Sigwyns. So they actually had a son together already. This little cute little boy named David, who is absolutely adorable. He's so cute. Look at him. I'm trying not to press play because I'm technically on year 1376 and we have some births and stuff and I don't want them to happen off screen. So, um yeah, that's not much of an update, but I really thought it was interesting that he made his way to not only Oasis Springs, but this same little temple, the same church, got married to this lady and is building a family with her. So, this girl, Madison Smith, is part of the Smith family now. So if once again, if something happened to Stephen, little Stephen, Osbert would be our heir. He'd move back to his father's home in Henford on Bagley. Because my main households are supposed to stay in the same village until a certain point in time. So I would have him move back. And then that would mean that David would be the heir for the generation after, which I wouldn't be too upset about. But yeah, I'm glad to see that so far his curse or anything. I obviously know that the curse isn't genetic, but I'm glad to see that someone fell in love with him despite him being possessed. Right? Most people would either want to stay far away or want him dead. So I guess that's probably why moving to the lawless lands were a bit better for him because I don't think people are as superstitious or as clingy to their prejudices as they would be in Henford on Bagley or even Willow Creek where Nura is, right? Because if Nura and Christina had to, I talked about this a long time ago, but if they got to the point where they needed to kill Christina's husband or needed to run away, they were going to run to Oasis Springs because it's neutral grounds, and not under the leadership of a kingdom, right? So the same rules and laws and stuff don't really apply. It's just laws of the land and moral codes, right? So no one really pays much mind to Osbert and his strange ways. So I think he fits right in here, but worst comes to worst, he will have to deal with coming back to Henford and Bagley and everything that comes with that. So for his sake, let's hope his cousin doesn't die. Let's hope his little cousin stays alive. But yeah, that's it. There's a weird little blended family going on here, but he's having a good time. He gets along with everyone in the house. Yeah. He's fine. Oh, Sigfriend. Boy, did I not think you would make your way into my official storyline like this. That's really funny. So on to his siblings. Next up, we have our dear, dear Alondra, who has been through some interesting predicaments. So she was actually one of the last to leave the house. Actually, oh, she's close to being a young adult. She was actually one of the last to leave the house, and that's because, well, our dear village princess, our dear beautiful, beautiful Alondra, got pregnant out of wedlock and had a little bit of a rough time. So she gave birth to this little girl here named Amanda, who is where is she? Who's right here, who is absolutely adorable, super, super cute little girl. Can you lift your head? Okay, well, I meant like lift your head in a direction where I could see you. This cute little girl here is her daughter, Amanda. And she had her with this guy named Vivek. Who, believe it or not, she ended up moving close to, but Vivek was from Windenburg, which is where Alondra is right now. And I guess he was visiting or passing through town in Henford on Bagley, and these two shared a night of passion, a moment of passion together, and she got pregnant with Amanda, which caused her a bit of scorn throughout the village. You know, the villagers were not big fans of the fact that she had a child out of wedlock like that. I'm sure she had plenty of boys and men wanting this beautiful girl to be theirs, and she seemed almost like tainted in a way to them. Terrible thing, but you know, reality. Please, okay, thank you. Um, so she stayed with her mom when her mom married that teenage boy for a bit. And then she managed to get married as well. It was a bit of a contractual marriage, not really one of love, but I think they're making it work. So she got married to this guy, Tyrone. So Tyrone's deal is he is this has nothing to do with anything, but I'm going to go through this. He was originally this guy Zane's only son, meaning he was going to inherit all of this. This entire house, this beautiful beautiful home in Willow Creek surrounded by this beautiful lake. It's amazing, it's lovely, and it was going to be all his. But recent years he remarried to a teenage girl. Where are you, a teenager? A girl his son's age, and they had children. So now he kind of feels that he has competition with his younger siblings, who are all toddlers, but still he feels like he's a bit of competition with them. And I think he saw this pretty girl, realized that she was in a predicament where she couldn't really say no to his marriage, right? It's not like he holds like a title or anything. He's just rich. Had, you know, they got along well enough, and he formed a contract saying, "Hey, if you marry me, become my wife, have my children, my heir, blah, blah, you'll be able to live a different life than this. You know, I'm in Windenburg, blah, blah, blah." And Alondra just couldn't really say no to that. So he got married to Alondra, took in her child as his own, and she's actually currently pregnant with his child as well. Um, wait, did you have another kid? No, okay. He had one kid out of wedlock, but I don't know. Who didn't, you know? um, but they're currently pregnant right now, so he's hoping that having an heir, like already born from himself, especially because he's firstborn, is so much older than his actual younger brother, will kind of give him leverage to get the property because he'll already have a family. And by the time this little boy grows up and his father gets older, he can kick out his stepmother and their children once he passes away and keep this home to himself. So he has some time before then. His father's not going anywhere anytime soon, at least not from old age. So that's Alondra's predicament. So it ended up working out in the end, but she did have a few years of just absolute panic, just going through the ringer. But everything's fine now. She's living pretty well off, right? And she and her husband get along. She's middle class. How does she feel about him? She doesn't find him very attractive. I don't think they're necessarily in love or anything like that, but I think they get along well enough for this to work out for now. So hopefully it stays that way for her sake in the future. And I think it's also just is a safety net for her and Amanda, gives them some money in their pockets, some gold and all that. So, but yeah, so it's probably a bit awkward, but it's her reality, and it works out for her. Next up, we have Conrad, who has both disappointed and enlightened me. He's had a really interesting situation so far. So, first and foremost, he also moved to Windenburg, which I think is interesting that these guys moved to a completely different kingdom. Um, from originally I was saying that Windenburg and Willow Creek were in the same kingdom, but now that I have the language mod, I'm using the languages as kind of cutoff points as well. So he moved to a completely different kingdom where he barely even knows the language. So he married actually this girl right here. Her name is Heather. I don't know how they met, why he married her, or anything like that, because they're both peasants, but you know, he finds her basic, they're married. Yeah, this just really interesting. And they're living this peasant's life. But what I think it is that this family has no sons, and I think Heather's the eldest daughter, so everything would technically be going to her. So he would also get it in turn, which even though they're peasants, I feel like Conrad is more than smart enough to turn this into something different, like to kind of change the family around. So We'll see. But I think he's kind of playing the slow game, taking what he can at the moment. Now, I don't think he's using her in the same way Gabriel was using his wife, but I think he's just like, well, I think it'll work out well enough. So let's get into it. None of these kids out here are his. Let's not even worry about them. So um yeah, his sister-in-law keeps having children out of wedlock, but these two get along really well. Anyways, this is his wife Heather. Heather is well, she's now a young adult, but they both got married as teenagers. One of my only male Sims to marry within their age range. I think he just now turned to a young adult. Yeah, they were like the same age when they got married. She's street smart, just like Agnes. She's timid, gentle, moody, and an occult enthusiast. And you know, they're peasants and all that. So witchy aura. Oh, yeah. She likes occults. Anyways, um, she's not a witch, she's a human. But basically, these two got married and they've been trying their entire marriage, which has been years now, to have a child, and it has not happened. To the point where I thought Heather was infertile. I even got her tested off screen. She's not infertile, she has regular fertility. She actually has hyperfertility. She should be popping out children expeditiously. She should be struggling to not be pregnant. Conrad has regular fertility. He's not infertile like his father or anything like that. But for some reason, they cannot conceive. They're really struggling. But just because they're struggling together, it doesn't mean that Conrad was struggling. So this is where I'm a little bit disappointed in him because I thought he was such a good person. But he has actually cheated on his wife and had multiple affairs and multiple children. So I'm not gonna go into his affair household to look at the children through there because they're not in this household. I also think it'd be kind of a fun surprise if we come across one of the affair children in the future. But he besides his wife, he came across two other women, a girl named James, don't know why her name is James, and a girl named Mariella. And together, between the two of them, he had 5 children. Not that he got them pregnant 5 times, but one of them had triplets and the other one had twins, which is why I completely am confused as to why they're struggling to have children, because clearly he's not struggling. So I guess it's easier to go into the family tree to explain this. So yes, yep, see, you see that connection? Now there's no children from them. So Heather has no children at all. They don't have children together. And this is Elena's little girl, by the way. Her name is Sally. But um so these triplets right here, the brown-haired ones, they all look just like him too from these pictures. I didn't go into their households or anything, but I don't think he can deny these kids. But Mariella had the triplets, Zayden, Sarah, and Garrett. So 2 boys and a girl. And then he got another girl, James, pregnant a little while later because these are infants and these guys are toddlers. And she had a boy and a girl. So he's got two girls and 3 boys all together who he doesn't take care of. He doesn't see. I don't even know if he knows they exist. I don't even know what villages these girls are from. But I do know he did not get them pregnant until after he got married. So yeah, he's definitely cheated on his wife. I highly doubt she knows as well. So I don't know. Let me see if I can tell where they're from here. James lives in Willow Creek, so they must have crossed paths. He must have been visiting some of his cousins in Willow Creek and crossed paths with her. Mariella, I feel like she lives in Oasis Springs. She does. Okay, I remember giving her a makeover. At the time, she wasn't pregnant, so she lives in Oasis Springs, and based on her outfit, she has to be pretty well off. So I guess he was visiting his brother in Oasis Springs and came across her. So maybe it's good that he's kind of stuck here in Wittenberg, but I don't know. Hopefully these two can have a child together soon. Hopefully Conrad doesn't ruin his life or just keep having basketball team member amount of children, you know? Like, oh my gosh, he has so many kids. He has the most kids out of everybody, and he's not even out of all my side households, and he's new to being a side household and also not taking care of any of them. But yeah, that's That's what he's got going on. So hopefully things work out for him. But you know, he'll have this place soon. I honestly thought he was gonna start an affair with his sister-in-law, this Harper. I don't know why they're both named Harper. I don't know. But none of these kids are his. I think these two just have a very good connection. I don't know. Maybe Harper, she has some traits that his mom has, so maybe he just sees his mom in Harper in the little Harper, his sister-in-law. But I wouldn't be surprised if these two started an affair. Um, but yeah, he also lives with his parent-in-laws, like his father-in-law and his mother-in-law, who's also named Harper. I think something glitched in this household. But yeah, really interesting. I'm hopefully we come across his children at some point. I think it'd be really fun. And the reason I'm not seeing all of these children, especially if they're not from their spouses, if they're married, is because I just think it'd be really fun if later down the line we came across someone and we're like, you know, we don't really know anything about them or who they are, then we marry them into the family, look at their family tree and it's like, oh, oh, you know? I just think that'd be fun. I like a good bit of chaos, you know? Unfortunately, the saddest of the stories so far comes from Laura, who I just hate to see her like her flame burned out, but she got the bad end of a stick in a rough way. So Laura was actually the first one out of the house, believe it or not. Considering she was the last one to grow up and turn into a teenager, she was gone. So our adventurous little Laura, she fell in love with an older man in Windenburg. She actually lives very close to Conrad. They're on the same plot of like they can walk to each other's houses. Um, Laura got married to an older man who actually recently passed. That's how old he was. He was older than her father. He turned into an elder way before. I can't remember. Oh my gosh, he's he his thing disappeared. But he has an older son married to someone in Hemford on Bagley. So I can't remember his name, but it was that blonde guy who was in the running to potentially marry Margery, if that makes sense. The guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. If I remember to go and check out the video when Margery was picking out husbands, I'll put him on the screen right now. But it was him. He went on, you know, moved on from not getting Margery's hand because she went with Mahe. Got married, only had one child, but you know, was a stepfather to all of his wife's children. And then his wife passed away a little bit before or after Laura aged up into a teenager. I'm not quite sure. Laura moved out pretty quickly and they got married. He's not in the game anymore, so I can't see what their relationship was like. But I remember checking in every now and again, and at first it was good. When she was pregnant the first time, it was before she got pregnant, it was good. During her pregnancy, it was fine. And then after she gave birth, that's when things went really, really wrong. So keep in mind, this is the youngest of her siblings. She's barely halfway through her teen years. So she was dealing with all this like way, way before for years. And she gave birth, and it turned out that it was a girl, which her husband was not happy about. He only had one son of his own. He wanted another one. Um, and he was already getting older, right? So Laura gave birth to a girl, this cute little girl here named Wendy, who is absolutely adorable. She's got her father's eyes as well. But this is her daughter, Wendy, that she had with that man. And basically, this became very very bad of a husband. Like I think a little emotionally and verbally abusive towards Laura, which is really, really sad to see. Their friendship and romance was so far down. And I came back in and checked, and she and him had divorced. He had actually abandoned her in Wittenberg, a kingdom where she barely even knows the language, and fucked off somewhere. And literally never saw him again. She doesn't know if he's dead or alive. I know that he's dead. I'm sure she's gotten word of his demise or something like that. This has been a little bit of a while since then. But yeah, Laura has had the bad deal handed to her. It's been rough, but luckily the people he was living with are actually not terrible people and have been really great with helping her with her Windenburgish, the language, and you know, just being generally amazing people, and that's just what's kind of kept her grounded. It doesn't help that she's cursed, so maybe was that failing romance a part of her curse? Was she cursed to deal with something like that? Who knows? But she actually lives with someone familiar. She lives with Ava and her kind of little blended family thing they've got going on. If you don't remember who Ava is, this is actually Annabelle's sister. So she lives with Annabelle's sister and Annabelle's nieces. So she's got some very, very distant family members. I wouldn't really call that family, but close enough. They treat each other like family. And so all of these guys, plus their husbands or brothers, I actually don't know how these guys are related. Okay, all these guys plus their brothers and all that, they all work together. Yeah, they have money saved up, but they actually are peasants. I think that money is just the money that what's his name? Laura's husband left behind when he ran off. But yeah, as you can see, they're not living like lavishly as at all. There's like one bedroom. I'm sure all the toddlers are squeezed into one place and it's just rough, but I'm hoping she gets on her feet soon and figures something out. I hope she falls in love with again with someone who's not like a monster. Oh my gosh, like literally an older man, close to being an elder, like a man older than her father, took advantage of a young girl. She moved out really quickly, so she had to have been 13, 14. Took advantage of a 14-year-old, a naive girl who just wanted to explore and adventure, promised her all these things, got her pregnant, and abandoned her in an unfamiliar kingdom. Like that is terrible. So I'm really rooting for Laura. Recently, she's kind of fallen in love again, but I think I don't know if this is part of her curse or what this curse entails. But the man she fell in love with is married actually, and she also doesn't find him attractive. So I don't know. These Sims are cursed and everything will be wrong for them if they survive. Like, oh my gosh, is her curse centered around romances? Is she just cursed and doomed to continuously fall in love with men who will never be good for her? If so, boy, is that rough. But at least she has a little girl who she adores out of it. Wendy is absolutely just absolutely adorable. So I'm excited to see what she's like when she ages up. But I'm rooting for Laura. I sure am. Last but not least of Stephen's children, who's actually his second born, is our dear Maurice. So unlike most of his siblings who seem to have packed together in Windenburg or even ran to Oasis Springs, he actually found his way to Brindleton Bay, which is where his cousins are. So he's actually down the street from where not Thelca, that's Willow Creek. What's her name? We'll see. I'll show them soon, and I'll remember who their names are. Hilda, there we go. He's really close to Hilda, and Margery. Sorry, what's her name? It sounds like Maleficent. Hilda and that sister. They're like right down the street from each other. But this is him. He married into this family of what are y'all spellcasters? Nope, humans. I think one of them is a spellcaster. Yeah. This guy from this guy who killed his cousin lives here. Not that he knows that this guy killed his cousin, but yeah. I don't think that's something Amis has made public. I don't think Amis ever knew that this guy caused it because she never saw him again, so pretty awkward. But Maurice actually got married to let me make sure yes, to he hates Stuart. Okay. Got married to this girl named Lila. If you thought she was his age, you were wrong. She is older than him. Because why wouldn't she be? He is an adult. Don't ask why all these adult women and adult men want these teenagers. But whatever. But these two got married, and honestly, they're doing pretty okay. To be honest. It's a little bit awkward because she's kind of got a thing with this guy Stuart here, who is actually already married, but left his wife to come live with her, even though his wife just gave birth to his triplets. Anyways, she has a bunch of children. She's got kids. No, she doesn't have a bunch of children. Let me open the family tree. I actually can't remember. Okay, she does have a bunch of children. Okay, a lot of her children are older. But she and Maurice recently had this son together, and she had a son with Stuart. So that's pretty awkward because he's living in the same place as his wife's side piece. But they're both in the same boat. They're both just like young adults slash who used to be teenagers who were kind of enthralled by this woman. But anyways, oh, did I forget to give you a makeover? Sure did, but you're an infant, it doesn't matter. But this is his son, Ronan. Uh can I please? Can I please? I beg you. There we go. His son Ronan, the pink freckles are not canon. We're gonna make those brown. But this is him, brown eyes, red hair, definitely took more after his mother, besides the skin color and the freckles, I guess. But so far, he only has one son with her, but just like his brother Conrad, this guy has children out of wedlock. The only one who didn't was Osbert, so maybe he is the best out of them. And he was my least favorite, so I don't know if that says something about me or him. But he actually had a child out of wedlock with this girl, Caitlin. And if she doesn't look familiar, this is also the baby mama of Thomas, who is Amisa's husband. She had his child as well. So Maurice and Thomas have children who are half siblings with Caitlin. And she had Alejandro. Yeah. A boy named Alejandro who he's never met. I don't know if he knows she exists, if he knows that the baby exists or anything like that. She lives in Chestnut Ridge, which is not canon. That place doesn't exist yet, to anyone's knowledge. But she goes around, she lives somewhere because people keep coming across her, and she keeps getting pregnant because she has a third child. She's still not married. But yeah, these other people in the household are like in-laws and stuff. That's really about it. Not as dramatic, but still like, all right. I'll take one child out of wedlock than whatever the fuck Conrad had going on, to be completely honest. Conrad was just like, I guess Conrad was testing whether or not it was him that was infertile. Not that I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, but he's got a bunch of kids that he has never seen. I guess this is a good time to go into the complicated household that is Thelca and her many, many daughters. So here's Thelca, looking the same as always, beautiful as always, and to everyone's surprise, she actually got remarried to a boy who was a teenager named James. So here's James. Yeah, he's younger than her daughters. So, Thelca, is there something you'd like to share with the class? She's not pregnant or anything like that, as far as I'm aware. I'd be surprised if she got pregnant again. She's given birth to an army of girls. She's given birth to enough girls to form a harem. Nope, not pregnant. But yeah, that's her biggest update, that she got married to a teenage boy. I feel like you should have saved that for your daughters, but honestly, they can choose whether or not they want to get married. Clearly, my Sims have the abilities to do so, and they're just not doing so. I guess we'll start with Elena, the eldest. She is. You better not be pregnant. Okay, I looked at her and I was like, you better not be. Elena is the same as she was before. Last we saw her, she was living in Oasis Springs, the same place that Osbert is now living at, but she moved back here to be with her mother and help out with Denise when Denise was recovering from her injuries and everything. So she was there. She did get pregnant again. So she has a toddler now on top of the child that she had before. Speaking of the child she had before, Ada, okay, y'all need to get out of there. Y'all are, gosh, why is everybody like in the way? Please. But speaking of the child she had before, she gave birth to this girl, Ada, who is now a child and absolutely adorable. She is so, so cute. So she's been a single mother to Ada and Ada's little sister, Malata, who I apparently didn't give sleepwear to, but I don't care. But this is Malata, who's also super cute. She has a lot of cute kids. Malata's father is have you come across him? Terrence Delgado. Um I really couldn't point him out. it doesn't matter. I know who he is technically. It doesn't matter to the story at all. But Alana Smith, who is about a week or so away from aging up to a child. So next time we see the update, she'll most likely be a child, probably headed towards her teenage years. As for Thelca, sorry, not Thelca. As for Joan, our evil Joan, taken after her daddy, she also did not get pregnant again. Sorry, she also did not get married or anything like that. Her eldest child, Asa, is a child and super cute. I can't tell who she looks like quite yet. I'm guessing this is what her father looks like because I'm not really seeing much of Joan in her, but she's still beautiful. And her twin boys, Edward and Vincenzo, have aged up. I actually don't know if they were born last time we saw. I can't remember. I didn't check on the update. But this is, let me start from the top. This is Eswald. Just pretend he's not wearing glasses or the witches thing. But this is Eswald, super cute, curly hair with the freckles and the brown eyes or green eyes. I can't tell. I think they're brown. And then his twin brother Vincenzo, who is just as cute. I can't remember if they're identical or not. I haven't given them a makeover in a while. But that's what these guys are doing. They have 17,000 simoleons and they're all just, let me turn this way. They're all just living the single parent life together. I'm not sure what made Thelca want to remarry, but honestly, her being remarried or anything doesn't really matter. I just kind of gave that update because she's here with her daughters. She's technically not even a Smith anymore now that she got remarried. But honestly, she's been widowed for so long. So I'm glad that she found love again, even if it's, well, to me it's unconventional. But for the time, I suppose it would have been okay. I don't know. Of course, we can't continue without stopping to see our dear Hilda and Millicent. That's your name. Okay, I was like, it sounds like Maleficent. So Hilda is still here living with Kane Wheatley and being essentially a nanny. There's a lot of kids in the household and they're not all Kanes. So let's see what's happened since then. So, since the previous update, I should say. So Hilda and Millicent are still here, living together with Kane and their family. As we remember, Millicent had this daughter named Catherine, who is older now and so pretty. Super pretty, definitely adorable. But this was Catherine, who's not all grown up, but growing older, I should say. Next up, we have not the Crabtrees, Emilio. Okay, I'm pretty sure I gave you a makeover, but I don't know. The Sims like to choose their own outfits apparently. But this was her son Emilio that she had, who was I think an infant last time we saw. He's also just aged up into a child recently. So I don't know. I think all the children don't mind living together. I think there's it's a tiny bit cramped, but I think there's actually good amount of space for everyone here, especially once we have like bunk beds and stuff like that. And it gives everyone kids to play with, who aren't just their siblings, especially if they get annoyed. They have actual friends and stuff like that, and cousins, right? So I don't know, kind of reminds me of Full House. So I'm not too mad at it. Now, oh, I should probably give people makeovers. They aged up weird. Okay. Well, these are my side households. By the time I give you a makeover, you'll be aging up anyways. Yeah. Just pretend he's not bloody. I promise he's okay. But to everyone's surprise, including mine, Hilda actually got pregnant out of wedlock by Cordell. And if he doesn't seem familiar, this is Avery's stepson. Remember Avery married an older woman who brought her children with her, and she had a son and a daughter, and this is her son Cordell. So I guess Hilda must have been taking a visit to Windenburg to visit Aunt Margery and her cousins, and she and Cordell had a moment of passion, as my Sims like to have, and she got pregnant with his son. And this is before he got married, so, or maybe around the same time, I don't know. But he has a son whose name is Demario. I'll probably change that to something else, not Demario, but this is their son. Pretend he's not bloody. I completely forgot to give him a makeover, but yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Now there's another girl because Millicent gave birth again. So this is Selena, who I also didn't give a makeover to apparently, but this is Selena. And yeah, I have no clue who your father is. Who are you related to? Hmm. Her father might be dead if he's not showing up. Yep. No clue who her father is. So I'm just gonna say Millicent doesn't know either. Yeah. I'm gonna say Millicent doesn't know who her father is either. So welcome to the world, Selena. Welcome to this chaotic family. Kane and his wife are doing fine. She's not pregnant or anything. They haven't had children together, but they just blended their families together. So once again, like a full house situation, we have blended families, nannies with their families, and keeps growing because no one's moving out or getting married. They all just keep having kids. Of course, we can't forget Philippa, who is pretty much in the same situation that we left her in. Single, had children out of wedlock, and living in Brindleton Bay. She was living with her first baby daddy's cousin, but he left to go pursue his second lover. That her first husband's cousin is the same one who Marcus doesn't like because it's his lover's lover. Complicated, but they're all somehow interconnected. But that doesn't matter. What does matter is the children that she had. So last time we saw Margery, she was a wee toddler, and look at her now, bigger. She's a child now, and super super cute. With a better chair, and super super cute. And her second son, her only son, I think, Christopher, is also grown up, super handsome. Oh my goodness. I'm genuinely excited for how he's gonna look when he gets older. That's it. Oh, I probably should have looked at some of these people's traits, huh? Hmm. It don't really matter. We'll see it at some point. She's determined, optimistic, and proper, and he has no traits. Okay, he's artistic, serious, and amusing. So yeah, they're all peasants, of course. They're all kind of cramped in here, a blended, almost like a village, just in a house. So I don't know. I'm assuming they're paying for rooms. And she got pregnant again and had a little girl named Ellen. Uh, these triplets are not hers, but she had a little girl named Ellen. I can't remember if Ellen was born or not in the previous update, but this is her. She's a toddler now, and her father is Lee. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to Hilda. Ignore the naked lady. But who is Ellen's father, Philippa? It is. Here we go. This is why I wanted to bring it back up. I knew one of them was important. Ellen's father is Malachi, who is also another one of Gabriel's stepkids. So Gabriel's stepkids just keep getting with his cousins slash family members slash I don't know. His stepkids do whatever they want. So I guess she took a little bit of a trip to Willow Creek to go see some family members. Came across Gabriel's stepson and had a child. But once again, Gabriel's stepson is stepson by technicality. He didn't raise them or anything like that. They were already teenagers by the time Gabriel came around. They're the same age. So awkward but true. Next up, we're going to be taking a little bit of a dive into Margery's family and what they've been up to. Normally, I'd start with her sons, but Margery and Mahe decided to do whatever they wanted, even though I made them infertile and have a child. So they had, just jumped right into that one. They had a little girl who they named Susanna. I have to really enunciate that because, yeah, this is Susanna, their most recent child. I can't remember what their first daughter looked like, but um I imagine they're both cherishing Susanna because well they wanted to have more children, but the game limited me to 3. But like I said before, I'm not going to be keeping tabs on Susanna or anything like that. I might add her to the family tree, right? But I'm not going to be updating, keeping up, rolling for her or anything like that. I just can't be bothered. Yeah, but I'm making sure they're not doing it anymore. She's I honestly won't be in the clear until Margery turns into an elder, which won't be happening anytime soon. Yeah, so I guess she could do what she wants, but I did do my due diligence and made both her and Mahe infertile, and then they said F you and did what they wanted anyways. Don't know. But on to the person we actually care about in this household, Avery. So I think I've said it before, and the beginning of this episode that Avery got a woman pregnant out of wedlock, and that woman is now his uncle Stephen's wife, which I'm sure is interesting. But yeah, so I guess him and his wife were going through something. It seemed like he really wanted a child and was just kind of feeling unimportant and possibly even emasculated by his wife and her family. He does not get along at all with Cordell. I think Cordell doesn't like Avery because Avery's around the same age as him and married his mom and all that, and just it just caused a lot of stuff, a lot of drama. And I think that's when, he took a moment to go see his brother using that as an excuse, and then just had a moment with Susanna and excuse me, and had a child with her. Now, here's the funny part. So eventually him and his wife did have a child. They had Are you? No, you're just drunk. She's always drunk when I come in also, so I guess another part of their problem must be her drinking problems because she's always tipsy or sobering up when I see her. But they actually did have a daughter. Susanna. See, this is where things get weird because his parents just named his baby sister Susanna. He slept with a woman named Susanna and then named his daughter, who he had after he slept with the other girl, after his lover. I think it has similar spelling, so I'm gonna say he named her after his affair partner. So that's gotta be really interesting. I'm not sure if anyone here knows about what he did. I'm pretty sure he knows. I'm pretty sure Gabriel wrote some letters, but I don't think he told anyone that he has a son and his uncle's stepson is actually his son, and I think he just kind of kept that to himself. But I think he did genuinely like Susanna and named his daughter after her. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think you should name your children after former lovers. Um unless like it's a case of that lover passed away unexpectedly. You just want to like honor their memory or something like that. I think that's fine. But like if you're like, "Oh, my first love, the one that got away, Brianna. I'm going to name my first child after Brianna, my first love." Don't do that. That's so weird and disrespectful and weird. So, but yeah, this is Susanna. I wonder if I can get a good angle of her. Close enough. And she just looks like a girl. She's chilling. All these other kids though are his son Cordell got married and he's got his stepsons here as well. Don't know why Cordell wouldn't just move out. We have space in the house, but not that much space. But he got married to this girl here. Not important, but I just thought, can my camera please? Can my camera please? Not too important, but yeah. Girl named Sharon Harrington. Lord, I can't read it. I'm thinking, you know what it is? I think I'm hungry. I'm actually thinking about I'm thinking about hibachi fried rice. I want some so bad. I don't have access to that at all. I can't even make it. Can I make some fried rice? I don't have any eggs. Now, as for Gabriel, he actually doesn't have as much drama going on as Avery for once. So, unfortunately, well, I'm saying unfortunately, I don't think Gabriel really cared, but his first wife did pass away. Um, but they had a son together, a boy named Benedict. Here we go. Here's Benedict, who is super cute, toddler. He's chilling. I don't think Gabriel necessarily cares. I don't think he likes or dislikes Benedict. I think he's just like, well, I have a son now, and just lives life like that, which sure, I guess. Um Besides that, he did get remarried to a girl who's a little younger than him. How old are you? What? I forgot to see if he I forgot to check and see if he had romantic partners out of wedlock. Oh, actually, I knew about this. I just forgot to say anything. Okay, let me one thing at a time. He got remarried to this girl named Christine. They're trying for a baby, but don't have one quite yet. I don't think she's pregnant or anything, but this is his new wife, who is a bit younger than him. Yeah, she's newly into her teen years, and he is well into his young adult years, so he definitely preyed on someone a little younger than him to have a bit more control, because he's a bit of a control freak. I think I've said this long ago, but he reminds me, personality-wise, a lot of Amir, and Amir was very controlling as well. So I think him marrying a younger girl who can't really do anything. One, because she's a woman, and two, I don't think she really even knows better. And he has so much more money. I'm sure her parents were just like, yeah, yeah, do it, marry him, do it. So here she is. They're trying for a baby. I don't think she's pregnant though. Let's see. No, she's not. But we'll see. I don't think he necessarily cares, but I think it'll just kind of solidify his stake in life, I guess, if he had a child. But for now, he has Benedict, so I think he's chilling, to be honest. And did you have a child out of wedlock? Sorry, I can't remember. Yes, you did. Okay, so he knocked up this girl, Rebecca. Yes, I remember. I remember. So he knocked up this girl named Rebecca, who lives in Oasis Springs currently, and gave birth to their son named uh Carlos. Here we go. Yes, named Carlos. Rebecca, this is unimportant because we won't really be seeing much of her, but she and her husband actually live with vampires, and they don't have to work or anything like that. The vampires take care of them, but they are kind of like live-in blood bags in Oasis Springs. So I don't know. If she likes it, I love it. The vampires protect them. They're all like safe and well fed and everything. So I love me a good moral vampire. Yeah, there's a vampire couple that have some kids and they live in as like live in blood bags. So I'm not sure if she's gonna have Carlos follow that path and the children she and her husband have follow that path or anything like that. But for now, that's her reality. On to the final household. Here we go. We're here in Nura's household, and ah, Nura's doing fine. To be honest, she's genuinely chilling. To be honest, she's chilling. She's aging and living life. She's almost an elder. Still discreetly out. Has been faithful this whole entire time to Christine, and Christina has remained faithful to her. Like her husband's dead, her biological children have moved on, got married, moved out, and all that, and she still remains here with Nura. They can finally just be together in peace and grow old and die together. And Christina's a little older than Nura, so that's why they have that bit of a gap. But Nura's not far behind her. Now on to the ones we actually care about. Philip. Philip is chilling to be. Come on, Philip. Don't do this to me. Philip is chilling for the most part. He's got a bit of a complicated family dynamic, so let's jump into it. I think in the previous episode we talked about how he got married to this woman who already had children of her own because his first wife died, and he took. Okay, I'm gonna just do this. He took in the child of his first wife as his own. His stepson he's raising as his own. He's also raising his new wife, who is this lady here, raising her children as his own. And the two of them had a child together, but they don't have any more children since. She does not like children, doesn't like being pregnant, and I think that's caused a bit of contention between the two of them. Their relationship's going down more and more. I think he just genuinely hates the way. He was a bit of a spoiled kid. He was the apple of his father's eye, the only boy of the family. So I think he just wants I think he thinks that all children should be treated the way he was treated, right? Just like, taken care of to the best of one's abilities. And seeing that Abby doesn't even like children at all, any of her children, the one she had with him, the one she had before, her stepchildren, anything like that, is just a point of contention because he's such a big family man and their relationship is definitely suffering for it. Yeah, he's trying his best to be friendly and build it up, but I think he can't really get past the fact that she doesn't love her children. I don't think he understands it, right? I'm not saying it's right, but I am saying like, being a woman in this time period and your worth being held and who you married and your children and all that is a lot. So I can imagine being someone who doesn't like children, being a woman who doesn't like children and having children. And, people nowadays are there like, you don't like kids? What's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. So I can only imagine being the 1300s and you feel that way and how your partner, your husband would feel. But luckily for her, or perhaps unluckily, her husband is so much younger than her. So maybe, and he's not very mean, right? So they have issues, but he's not necessarily abusive or anything like that. He tries to keep things cordial and smooth as possible. If nothing else, then definitely for the children's sake. So I don't know, he's trying. But this is his one of his stepchildren, his daughter, stepdaughter who grew up. This is his first stepkid with his first wife, who is a little bit older as well. This is his second stepson from his second wife. And this is the child that they had together, a beautiful, beautiful girl named Joan. And oh my gosh, she's stunning. All of the kids, honestly, all the kids that my side household Sims have had are stunning as well. I think what it is her cat eyes and sharp ears. I love supernatural looking Sims, so I think that's why she's standing out to me so much. But I think she's really cute. For some reason, she reminds me a little bit of Gabriel and Avery, but I think she just got a lot of her of Philip's features. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how she turns out as she grows up and gets older. But for now, she just aged up. She's like 6, so she's chilling. She lives here in this beautiful house with 2 grandmothers and a father who love her and so many siblings, and they just get to play and like play in this pond over here and hang out with the chickens and everything. So I think that all things considered, he is providing uh everyone around him as comfortable of a life as he can, especially because he's the only man in the house. He's probably the only one really working. His wife might probably be out working as well, just to get away from all the kids and leaving his mothers, yeah, his mothers really to to watch the children during the day or when they're both at work.
Oh,
And of
gotcha.
course, we have to end off the episode. There we go. We have to end off this episode taking a peek into Liecia and how her life has turned out. So, kind of the opposite of Laura a little bit. So, I think last time we were here, I can't remember where she was living. Oh, that's not the area I should be zoomed in on. Last time we were here, she was living, I think, at home with her geez, with her daughter who she had out of wedlock, who should come out of the pool, please. Please, please stop swimming. That's not medieval, but I didn't give you medieval stuff because I don't see your swimwear. Who she had this daughter out of wedlock, this pretty girl named Maricela, sorry. And she had her with gosh, where are you? This guy here. Nope, no, you didn't. I guess he's dead. I don't know, but had her out of wedlock with someone else. But luckily for Lycia, this older man, well, as always, this older man, this rich older man from Windenburg, proposed to her and married her, which is crazy because he has a ton of children out of wedlock and even had an official mistress. But when Lycia married him and officially moved her in, he kicked the mistress out along with his children, the children he had with that mistress, which is rough. He has a lot of kids with her. And just completely focused on his relationship with Lycia. So he completely takes care of Maricela as his own daughter and cherishes her as such as well. And together they have had a couple of children. So they've had Maricela, and she has her siblings, Carla, who is a toddler. Okay, well, I guess we won't see Carla. Carla, who is a toddler, and a little infant boy named James, who is in the counter. Fantastic. As for it, this other person in here, I guess this is a friend of. Okay, why is everybody swimming, guys? Get out of the pool. My camera cannot handle this household. But as for this girl, this is kind of funny. I think she just rents out a room or something in here, or maybe she's friends with Cameron. But I don't know if she looks familiar to y'all, but this is actually gosh, you remember that elf that almost married somebody? The uncanny valley looking one with the blonde hair and purple eyes? He got married a long, long time ago to Thelca's sister, back when Thelca and Nasir first got married. That's how long ago this was. Thelca's sister passed away giving birth to her. You know, I don't think her human body could really handle giving birth to a magical half elf child. Um, Half elven child. And well, her father abandoned her pretty much, right? So she kind of got placed from house to house. People were really put off by her, right? Because they said they thought she was a changeling. I mean, she's not human, so they were right about that, but they were just wrong about what exactly she was. But long story short, she now lives here. She's had a couple kids out of wedlock, and she's pregnant again with another one. So, well, by a couple kids, I mean she's had one, but she's pregnant with one right now. She's had this child who did not get any of her. Oh, yes, he did get her magic genes, but this magic child who has these interesting eyes, which I kind of want someone in the future to get with him, but he's so much younger. I doubt he will. But his magic and elven nature is peeking in through his eyes, which are different from hers. She's got her father's purple eyes. I don't know what she's pregnant with right now. Once again, she's not part of our household, but I've been keeping track of her because I want to see where these genes go, and I want them to come into the Smith family line somehow. But for now, I'm just gonna keep a close eye on that. She has a bunch of half siblings because her father got remarried, and after he abandoned her, he got remarried and had a bunch of kids that he actually takes care of. Just he's not one of them. Really? Oh my gosh, it's not gonna pop up. Wow. So her father is 100. Oh, you know what? Her father probably did die, but she doesn't even know about her half siblings because I promise you, she's got like 5 of them. But anyways, I guess they'll turn out when they turn up, I guess. But yeah. So hopefully these genes end up somewhere. But for now, she just lives with Liecia and her husband. I don't think she necessarily loves her husband. I don't think she necessarily loves having these children and stuff either. But honestly, it put 120,000 simoleons in her bank account. She gets to live freely in Windenburg, not even out in the country of Windenburg like her other family members do. She lives deep in the city. Like she has access to so much, and her children will have access to so much. So I don't really think she can complain. She has a waterfront view dead in the middle of the city. So I really don't think she complains much. She has a pool, bro. Who in the 1300s has a pool, right? We're gonna pretend this is like a private bathing thing. Like she has access to so much, and her husband isn't her ideal fairy tale man, but he honestly, as bad of a guy as he is towards his baby mama and all his other kids, all of these guys here, these are his kids. These are all his. That's the wrong guy. Here we go. All of these guys here, he has so many baby mamas and so many kids, and he made the conscious decision to marry Liecia and take care of their children. When with everyone else, he just kind of like abandoned. Rebecca was the one who was living with them, whose children he kicked out as well. He had a child with this girl named Chana, and had a had children out of wedlock with a rich girl in Brenton Bay, who is actually the wife of one of the Duke's family members. So he made the conscious decision to keep Liecia by his side, and I wonder why that is. But yeah, so they get along well. She's not unhappy. Well, she has depression, so she is, but not for the reasons we think. But she does genuinely like him and appreciates everything that he does for her and their children. So, with that all said and done, after this long, extensive family tree that's only growing year by year, day by day, I hope you all enjoyed this update. I know I did. I've been waiting to share this for so long because things pop off so quickly in these side households. I try to keep track of it as much as I can. But sometimes I also come in and I'm just like, what? What's going on? So yeah. So also let me know if you like this style of video. If I should do my side hustle updates like this. I probably will keep it like this. I like the connection we have, right? Um as we look upon my side households and see the drama they've got going on. Honestly, this is probably why my main household has so little drama. All my side households are sucking the drama out the game into their own personal lives, so my side households can get a little bit of a break. So I appreciate it because I'm sure the drama will return to my main household. So I'm just gonna let them relax and enjoy the peaceful farm life for as long as they can because my side households are absolutely going through the ringer. So I hope y'all enjoyed. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. The next side hustle video will be a little bit after 1380. And I'll catch you in the next UDC video. Bye.